Hello, hello. Welcome to Fempreneur True Confessions podcast.
Welcome everyone. I'm Laura or Oda, and I'm the owner of an agency of project managers, virtual assistants, business managers, wonderful people, and other business owners that are here to work with our clients to help out behind the scenes, get some of that chaos tamed, and get it organized, and really just start to work on the back end of businesses that seem to get a little neglected. So that's what we do on our back end.
And I'm Angelique with Lady Powerhouse Solutions. We take a heart centered approach to offering project and event management for women um, entrepreneurs who are like already out there on fire, lighting up the world. They're not just starting out. It might be their a new business, but they haven't, they've done it before kind of thing. But Lady Powerhouse Solutions, we help them achieve their mission in the most authentic way possible. And Laura and I do really similar things. We both have teams with VAs. Both do project management. Um, per se, like
Right.
it's
Different.
kind of it's like you said, or other duties as assigned. It's like whatever it is that they bring to us, that's their pain point. We figure out a way to make it not so painful, less painful, actually enjoyable. Imagine.
It sounds like you've got some kitty action happening behind you
Do
today.
I? Do I? I can't. I wasn't looking at the
I didn't
screen, so
see it. No, I was hearing it. I was like, oh, look, they're going to get active. Every time we know that the animals get active during the podcast. So there's always a photo bomb or a crash somewhere. It's
yeah.
like having kids when it's too
Oh,
quiet.
you know what? I think that was the ice maker.
Oh, was it? Oh,
Maybe. I don't even hear it anymore. Um, so yeah, this is what we do in our our daily our companies. But the podcast is about um, normalizing what it looks like when female entrepreneurs support each other. And the reason that's important is because when we first started out, uh, I've been kind of like a serial entrepreneur for like a long time,
yeah.
but came out of corporate and went full time, all in with my own business in 2019. And um, then in 2020, Laura and I connected, and we weren't seeing authenticity per se. What we were seeing was all these successes and polished, produced, and that wasn't us. We can relate to that.
Right.
So we
Yeah.
wanted to create a community where we were real women
Where
doing
we
real
were
shit.
right. And now for us, there's I take pride in the fact that I don't, you know, I'm not your typical idea of a business owner and stuff. And I don't, I'm like, I come to the table how I am. And sometimes that's a shock to people. And I love that feeling. And I know that it gets changed as one small change starts to happen. So when we were seeing all that bright, shiny object stuff, I'm like, does anybody struggle? Is anybody hanging a thing on their wall that says bang head here? Because there are those moments.
Yeah.
And at least when you worked because I worked in a call center for corporate, at least there's somebody you could turn to and be like, "What the fuck?"
Mm-hmm,
and
mm-hmm.
at home it's a wall. It doesn't answer back or laugh or make it easier, but it does relieve. So,
Yeah. So we started the podcast, and we started inviting women to come in and talk about the struggle, the challenges, and then on the other side of the challenges, what they learned, so that we can share that with each other and support each other. And well, we're not out there thinking I'm the only one dealing with this particular challenge, and then learning from other people's challenges as well. So that's why we're here. We're trying to build and maintain and grow this sisterhood. We believe in abundance mindset over scarcity mindset, and then just helping each other rise. So KJ, oh, we didn't even go over the last name, so I'm not even going to try it. We'll let you do
I
it,
would say
KJ.
Glattenbauer. I'll guess on live. She can tell us when she
Perfect. You got
said.
it. Lattenbauer.
Ah, good, good. Okay. We do have KJ here with us today. And she is a powerhouse publicist who turns overlooked experts into headline news. With nearly 30 years of experience, she's the go to pro when you're ready to stop being ignored and start owning the spotlight. Known for her bold yet approachable style, KJ delivers clear, actionable strategies that have been featured everywhere from Forbes to Architectural Digest. She's also the author of the DIY PR book, How to Be a Media Darling, and the forthcoming Pitch for Three in January 26th will be here, a modern guide to building lasting visibility and authority. To learn more about KJ, we will have all of her links in the show notes. There'll be clickable links for you to be able to go to them. And she'll be leaving us all of her website and her social media and everything. So, but welcome. We're so glad to have you all here.
Thank you for having me. Thank you for having me. Excited.
Yeah, today we're gonna kind of give KJ the floor, and we're gonna talk about the reset button that nobody is talking about. So take it away, KJ. I like that.
Yeah, we'll just put you on the spot. Go.
Immediately. Well, I mean, I think it applies across a variety of things. I think, your podcast is all about sisterhood, and it's about helping the next female entrepreneur maybe not struggle through what you went through originally. And I feel that to my core, in that when I started out, I saw every other woman in PR as competition. We were pitching the same editors, we were chasing the same clients, we were fighting for the same headlines. And then one day, another publicist, technically a rival of mine, she called me in tears after losing a client that we'd both pitched, fought tooth and nail to get this client's business. And my first instinct wasn't like to protect my turf or gloat that I'd won. It was to help her, and I walked her through my process. I sent her my media list. I even shared a few editor intros, and not because like I had to, or I felt obligated, or I felt bad for her, because I knew what that fear was like. I knew what it felt like, that kind of whispers that you're not good enough, or that someone else already claimed the spotlight. Since then, she's become one of my closest collaborators. We refer clients back and forth. We brainstorm together. We celebrate each other's wins like they're our own. And I think that moment really flipped a switch for me. When we stop guarding our success like it's scarce, I think that we all rise faster. And so for me, the reset button is just taking a pause. It's knowing what you truly want to do with your business, why you're in business, why you're putting all this time, energy, effort, blood, sweat, and tears into what you're doing. And it's establishing what do I really want to do with my life? What's my big goal? And it's taking that big goal and making sure nothing interferes with it. Like everything is going to lead you to that goal. So where you put your time, your energy, your effort, it's either a hell yes leading me to that goal, or it's a hell no, and we are not doing those things. But it also starts, once you know that that's your goal and that's where you're headed, it starts at home. It starts at the basis of things. It's how you talk to yourself. It's how you talk externally about what you do. The basis and foundation for your social media photos, your website, your LinkedIn profile, anywhere that's external facing. The huge reset for me is getting clear on where your mind is, and then making it tactical, getting clear everywhere else. So no matter if it's you talking about you, or your neighbor talking about you, or a partner talking about you, or even a rival talking about you, you've ingrained in them so much the way to think, speak, and act toward your business and your brand and what you do, that they can't help but repeat exactly what you're saying.
Right. Well, and I love what you said too about your own story. When you hit a wall in your business, and from the outside, everything looked great, but you needed to press pause. You started turning down clients. What the hell? Are you kidding me? You rebranded. I know the buzzword back in 2020 was pivot. Everybody was pivoting, right? I love what you said though, that the burnout, instead of being a badge of honor, because really it's not.
Mm-mm.
If anything, burnout is evidence of we are misaligned.
Yeah.
And I love what you said about slowing down, and that doesn't mean failure. And I say this, I probably on almost every episode. Failure is not anything but feedback. It's not a reflection of we're broken or we're what's the word I'm looking for? We're
There's nothing wrong with you. There's nothing wrong with
right.
you. Failing
Right.
is a lesson. Every day is a school day.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But I love that you said that the slowing down isn't about failure. It's about finally steering
Yeah.
instead of just balls of the wall sprint. Um, action is so important, so important. But you need, like you were saying, and I've heard this so many times in just the last week. Clarity.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I mean,
Clarity.
we're all operating from a place of chaos, right? And it's true, like what you said, the most challenging chapter of my life, it was not a failure that anyone witnessed, that anyone saw, right? It was just a slow unraveling that came from looking really successful on the outside while you're quietly falling apart on the inside. And I feel like everyone can relate to that on some level. I built my business from scratch. I poured everything into it. My time, my health, my relationships. I missed birthdays and family trips. I slept with my phone next to my bed in case a client emailed or called or texted or needed me. I lost friends for people who were tired of me saying, maybe next time I'll come out, And I kept telling myself it's just a season, but it turned into years of just chasing validation through being busy, so busy. To the point of where, like, if my mom would call, she'd be like, I know you're busy. And it's just so sad that we get to that point. And then one night I just looked up from my laptop and I realized I didn't recognize my life anymore. I was helping everyone else tell their stories, live their dreams, do what they wanted, pursue their happiness, and I completely lost all of that for myself. And that was the moment, like, I knew something had to give for me. So I burned it all down and I rebuilt everything, like slower, softer, and on my own terms, how I wanted to do it. Not what success looked like to everyone else, but what
Yeah.
success truly meant like to me. Because I learned that achievement means absolutely nothing if you sacrifice yourself for it. Success is hollow without any sort of connection, and the people who love you shouldn't see the highlight reel. They should feel your presence at everything, lowest point, highest point, in the middle. That realization that I needed to rebuild softer and in a different way, that stepping away from the busyness and the hustle culture, it didn't just change my business, it changed my life.
Yeah, that hustle culture could be so toxic, and there's always a time for action or for hustle or whatever, but in much smaller spurts. I think we stay way too long in an idea of hustling and working hard and keep going until you totally burn it out. And that was like the norm, like this is what we're gonna do. And like you said, success looks so different for each of us. Even for clients that we work with and people that we've talked to on the podcast, we all have such a different view and version of what we're working towards, what success is, what would feel like, what may look like a failure to somebody else would feel like such a massive and huge success to someone different, and it's really understanding that, and being in that, because I think for a long time, part of what we saw as the bright, shiny objects and the things that was going around was everybody had this answer that was molded into one thing, and that wasn't working for either one of us either. Like, definitely, there are quirks. So there are things for me like HSP, and there's empath, and then there's the ADHD part. And then there's just the fact that I'm a little bit strange and weird and very stubborn. So working with me can't always be that easy. And I understand that. So it's finding the right people, knowing that, and knowing that I don't define success by, I hit a certain number by this time in this moment and I've joined the big guns, right? For you, like you said, you like the idea of it feeling softer. I came from a very stressful corporate world, and before that it was teenagers. I like the idea of my business being softer. Like, it doesn't have to be that, and now feel that it was in corporate, you know? So
Mhm.
for me, that's successful that, yeah, I can go take a in person, or I can get sick and not have everything fall apart. Like it can feel soft, and that's always great. So I love
Right,
that you
right.
said that. Yeah.
And I think that so often, and I think this is where one of so many differences between female entrepreneurs and male entrepreneurs, right, is that we need permission,
Mhm.
or we feel as if we've conditioned to believe that we need permission, that we need permission to do things our way. And that, but whereas most men, they just, I mean, they just do it. They don't think about who it will affect.
No.
Um, uh, when I think about my day and what I'm doing and the things I want to do in my future, and I'm not saying this is good. I'm not saying this is good or bad, but so often I find as a woman I am considering the people in my realm of influence, right?
Mhm.
My partner, my children, my grandchildren, my friends, my clients, even my clients, right? I'll even think about how will that, how will that work, instead of like, well, this is what I want, this is what feels good to me, and giving ourselves permission to do that. Writing ourselves out. I was working with a writing coach at one point. She did this really powerful exercise where she says, I want you to write yourself a permission slip
Mhm.
to do whatever the thing is that you want to do. It's okay.
Mhm.
Go do it.
Yeah. No, that's
It's like
brilliant.
the idea of writing the check out and just having that check, like you just take a check, you write it out for the amount of it, and it's there. Like it's that same idea of writing out, this is what I want. I know Angelique and I have talked a lot, especially even recently, about do you what do you consider, who you consider when you're like doing all the things and you're thinking about everybody else and this is what's going on. And I hit probably a few years ago more of a selfish moment where I started realizing like, oh gosh, no, today's not the day I consider all of that. Today's the day I just do what I need, like, and started really working through those kinds of things as my son got older and, life changed and stuff. Then it was, oh, yeah,
But is it
it
selfishness
was
for
I don't
us?
think
nice.
it's selfish. I really don't. I feel like it's the airplane
It
system,
was
right?
nice
Like,
to remember that I could be that way. Like, I used to do that when I was younger, like being able to say no. Like, oh, I don't want to go. And I'm an introvert. So people had to get used to the fact that I was no longer hanging out. I wasn't doing this. When that was said and done, and I was truly just like, no, I'm not going. And people were like, what do you
That's a
mean? Like, you
complete
just
sentence.
put your foot down. I'm
yep,
like,
that's a complete
Yeah.
sentence. I think it's the airplane. I think it's not a syndrome. I think it's the airplane mantra, right? You have to put your own mask on before you help anyone else. You have to take care of yourself if there's a disaster before you can help your child or another small child or an elderly person, the person around you. And to me, that's leading through action. That's showing people what's possible by modeling it first. There is nothing selfish about that. It just means that you're leading through action and you're doing the work that you wish others would do. You're not waiting for permission or applause or perfect timing. You're showing them the model. Like when the pandemic hit, I watched a lot of small business owners. They were just freezing in fear. They were unsure how to market or communicate without sounding like tone deaf to the situation at hand. Instead of quietly waiting it out, I started hosting free virtual workshops and giving away my PR playbooks to help them stay visible and be connected. I didn't have it all figured out, but I tried to lead by doing, right? Because doing something is better than doing nothing. And I feel like those sessions spark collaborations, press features, and a ripple effect I did not expect for myself or for them. And I think other women began hosting their own workshops. They're crediting those sessions as like the nudge they needed to step up or step forward. And to me, I feel like that's what leadership looks like to me, creating movement, not just momentum. And so I don't think it's being selfish. Yes, as women, we take into account everyone around us, but we also have to be the woman that says, if you see her, you can be her, right? I have nieces. I want them to know they can be at home. They can raise kids. They can be a traditional housewife if they want to be, or they can be a modern housewife. They can be whatever they want to be, but they can also go kick ass in the business world and then come home and make the best sourdough starter the world has ever seen, right? You can do all the things, but you have to go do the things first. And I think I think showing people you can still take into account their feelings, but putting yourself first, putting what you want, what you need, what lights you up. You can't serve anyone from an empty cup. So if you're not lit from within with a fire and passionate about what you do, it ripples and resonates through the rest of you. Not selfish, airplane mode.
Yeah. Yeah.
I
So,
think the intention behind it too is part of it. You know, like, did we do it because we were obligated or because that's just what we do? Or did we do it because we truly, truly wanted to? And I think some of that's come into play for me recently is, oh, I didn't want to. Why would I? And that was a hard thing. Like, I don't want to. And it's just simply because I don't want to. It isn't because I don't feel well or because of this or that. I don't want to people. That's the God's honest truth. I don't want to people and I don't want to. And then it was, oh, I don't even have an interest. So it wasn't even that I just didn't want to or I didn't want to people. It was, I'm not even interested in that, which means I have zero intent to it's probably not going to be fun. It's not going to be, certain things. It's just not going to be the same as it was if I'm forced into it. So it's those kinds of things when I started realizing like, oh, I don't really like doing that anymore. I don't want to do that anymore. And then being like, so who's going to do it now? Because it's not going to be me. So if it's something that needs to, or if it's just something you walk away, it's very interesting how it gets put together, I think. And you kind of grow into that when you finally give, like you said, give the permission again and just say, no, hell yes, hell no. I'm learning that hell yes, hell no. I'm always in the gray, like it's a little darker gray, which is maybe the no, and the lighter yes.
so tell us a little bit about your book.
Sure. My book is called Pitchworthy, and it comes out January 13th. It is basically half pep talk because I think as women, we are waiting for permission. We are so passionate about what we do. We know we're experts. We know we're good at it. We know they're the best at what we do, but there's a vulnerability in telling the world that. So like we create this great thing, a product, a service, a brand, a business, a restaurant, whatever it may be. And then we get to the point where we get to tell people about what we're passionate about and we freeze. So my book is half pep talk to help you shake that off and step out into front of the spotlight. And the other half is the basic tenets of PR. It's like a 12-step program that walks you through everything from what PR is, how you can use it, how you find your audience, media opportunities, free tools, and even a chapter on how you deal with criticism, negativity, and the trolls.
Awesome. So how do you deal with the negativity and the trolls?
Well, I think it's a mindset, right? Like you're only offended if you believe something is true, right? So people say stupid things to me all the time.
I love that. People say stupid stuff all the time.
You know, anyone behind a keyboard not showing their face on social media, they are the bravest motherfuckers on the planet.
Right.
Mm-hmm. So they'll say or do whatever because there's no consequence for them. I'm a Midwesterner. It is literally in my blood. I have to respond to every person because if I don't, I'm rude. But you know what? I don't feed the trolls. I don't respond. I don't take the bait. I'm not going to argue with some idiot because if you argue with an idiot online, you just get two idiots. You both look stupid. Mm-hmm. Nothing good comes of it. And I don't need to prove to someone how smart I am or that I know what I'm doing. I have the receipts. I have a press page that's 160 media hits long. Like if Adam in Ohio wants to tell me I don't know how to do PR, let me see you try, Adam. Show me your press page. How is your client list going? So I think the first step is, does this really matter? Is what this person's saying really matter? Yeah. Does it impact me? And I think the second thing is, what good comes of me responding? Like sometimes you just need to respond to get it out. And I get that. Sometimes it just feels good to respond. But at the same time, there's going to be repercussions from your response, right? So it's taking a step back and being like, is it worth responding? And most of the time, some people just want attention. Like they're probably trapped in their mom's basement and no one's giving them the attention that they need. They haven't seen sunlight in 20 days and they really just need to touch grass. Go let them pick on someone else. Just go about your day, making the world a better place. Let them just be. So my number one rule is to not engage with the trolls. Now, when it starts to get into the area of like slander and libel and it's impacting your business, that's what lawyers are for. because those people back down real fast when they get a call or an email or a cease and desist. And that's when you know, like, you just don't play around. If it's your business and if it's your livelihood and if it's your reputation, don't engage with the silliness. But if it goes a step further where it's going to start harming your paycheck or your family, call the authorities, bring in the big dogs. Do not mess around. I learned very early on in life that there are many things that you can persuade people around. There are many things you can do. And you can use PR for good, you can use PR for evil. But the number one rule is you don't mess with someone's job. You just don't. That is, you just don't. It's not something that you do. It's bad karma. It's bad for the universe. It never benefits anybody. And so if someone came for me today, I'd take a look at it and be like, is this a threat I even need to assess? Or is this just some silliness? But if they try to steal parts of my book, parts of my class, parts of my business, poach my clients, I have a team of lawyers ready to go, and they love getting a phone call and having to make phone calls.
That's awesome. I love that.
I think
yeah,
kind of, you know, like you depending on, I love the fact that they're behind keyboards, they're great and nobody can tell who they are and all of that. But that you really, I will laugh, I will say stuff, and you know, and they do say just whatever. But I've always been someone, like, it was pick your battles. Like, is that a battle you really want? Is it going to affect, like you said, your job in that moment, or the business? You know, can I just erase this and get rid of them and get past whatever? Or are they going to continue to engage? Do I need to handle this? Is it a battle I need to engage in? And that's always the you know, knowing, especially. We see and hear stuff. I get private messages. People always love to, like, I'm just going to send her a private message. I don't want the world to see how rude.
Oh, yeah. Oh, of course.
It's like, oh, lovely.
But you know what? If they do it too many times, look, I'm in the business of reputation. And if you are sending me so many private messages, I have a woman that every time I do anything that has a video on it, she will send me a private message and she will tell me literally verbatim, eat a fucking cheeseburger. Sometimes she writes out cheeseburger. Sometimes she just writes the emoji. Like, I eat a lot of cheeseburgers, lady. It's one of my favorite foods. But it got to a point, it was so bad last year, I just shared it with everyone. I put her username out there on blast. Like, you would never say that to my face, you know? So you would never, you're private messaging me because you don't have the balls to do it on a public platform. How do you feel when I blast it out to my 14,000 followers? Never again. Not a single message from her ever again. So it's just, you know, everyone's a bully, and I don't like bullies. I don't like them when they bully me, and I hate when they bully my clients or friends. Like, I will come at you with the tenacity of a mob boss. Like, no, that's not how you treat people. It's not how you treat people.
Oh, you have to share. You have to share. When I was talking to KJ on Friday, we were chatting on the phone. We're both driving. Well, I was riding. You were driving?
I was driving. I was driving. Oh,
anyway.
No.
We're on the phone. We're just, you know, have a quick meet and greet because somehow this all came together really quickly, which is not typical. We're booked out like through the middle of January, at least about a month out. So anyway, we were on the phone talking. And how did you describe yourself?
I'm like a petite blonde carnival worker.
Yes.
I love it.
Yes, she's a carnival worker. And I'm like, oh my gosh, she is our people, because we were talking about, you know, swearing. I said, you know, we're unfiltered. I might drop the F-bomb every once in a while. But yeah, and so, yeah, the tenacity of a mob boss and a petite blonde carnival worker.
Are you from New York? Because the whole mob boss, I'm from New York, so that fits perfect.
This is the best part. I'm from a tiny town in North Dakota. Like, I'm more Fargo the movie than I am The Sopranos. But still, loyalty runs really deep with me. I've had clients that have been with me for over a decade. I have clients that have been with me for 5 minutes. I don't care if you're a 5-minute client or not even a client, or a client that's been with me for decades. I believe in you and you've trusted me with something or your story. And I just, loyalty runs really deep. I do not take that for granted. Like, you're pursuing something and you're going at it full bore. And how dare some Brad or Chad or moron, because it's not all men, but it's always a man that like comes and dims someone's shine. Like, no, not today, asshole. Like, not today, not on my watch. Like, I will be everyone's defender.
Nice.
I love that mama bear in you. That's
Yeah.
great. It's,
Yeah.
you know, because it does take that. It's the idea that you guys can spew all the hate, but we will come back in a much bigger way with protective. But like we don't see it that way.
Yeah.
You know, and the mama bears of the world definitely are the ones that scream the loudest. Like, did
Yeah.
you just say something to somebody?
Wait, what? Excuse me?
What? You know, like, whoa. Okay, I guess I don't need to handle that. They're gonna get out. They're gonna get this. They're gonna handle that.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know?
Well,
So it's
I can't
fun.
wait. I cannot wait to for the book to come out. Be sure that you stay in touch with us. We can help promote that for you.
Thank you.
Yeah, that I think it's fantastic. I can't wait to get into some nuggets about that. And if you want, we'd love to have you back. If you want to book another one after the launch and talk some more about the book, you're more than welcome to do that.
Sure. Yeah. The book comes out January 13th. And on January 13th, because I want public relations to be accessible for everyone, the e-version, like for Kindle, online, all the readers, it's going to be only $1 because I want everyone to be able to afford public relations. I think it can benefit all businesses, all industries, and I don't ever want price to discriminate what someone gets.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm launching a new program in the new year as well, and I'm doing the same thing where I want to be able to offer this to anybody who from $5 to 50. So if you can pay 5, great. If you can pay 50, that means you're also paying for somebody else, you know, and it allows me to offer scholarships to people who can't even do 5 kind of thing, you know. So I love that. So I want to recap, and then I have one question for you. It was not on the not on off the cuff. So this reset button that nobody's talking about.
Mm-hmm.
It's just a pause, isn't it?
Mm-hmm. It's a pause to figure out what you really want. What do you really want to do with your life? So as women, we can do everything, right? You could be president, you could be of the United States, you could be president of the PTA, you could run 16 Girl Scout troops, you could be the CEO of a business, you could be the CEO of your household, you can make lunch for 50 hungry people and like rescue a puppy out of a tree. And for a woman, that's just Tuesday. Like it's just a random Tuesday. Do all those things. Like women, we can do and be everything. What we are horrible at is taking 2 seconds to think about, what do I really want for me? What do I really want to do for myself? What are my true hopes and true dreams, not the hopes and dreams other people have placed on me or I'm doing to please other people? And I think once you have an episode in your life that kind of breaks that open with you and you're like, oh my God, I'm living for everyone else but myself. I think once you've had that episode, it becomes very easy to sit in some quiet and decide, this is what I want to do with my life. And I am going to run full bore off a cliff and like the net will appear underneath me. Because 1, how hard can it be? And 2, what's the worst thing that could happen? You fail? Like, then you just know to start again.
Yeah. And again, failure is feedback. You know, if that didn't work, next.
Right.
Let's just try something else. Mm-hmm. So the question I have for you, it's not crazy hard or anything, but take your time. What?
It's not like math. You're not going to ask me.
No, it's not math. It's not math.
Perfect.
But I mean, knowing what it's, hindsight is always 2020. Mm-hmm. But if someone were to come to you and they're young and they're just starting out, and what's one piece of advice that you would give them to help them not make all the freaking mistakes that we made? Not that they wouldn't learn from them, but just to give them a little hand up.
Oh, there's so many things, but I think the one that I wish someone would have told me when I was younger is to bet on yourself. Never, ever, ever, ever in the history of ever, let anyone tell you you can't do something. If you know you can do something and you believe in yourself, you can do everything. No one's going to work harder than you towards your dreams. No one's going to understand your dreams, and no one is going to be more successful than you are at things that are important to you. So 1,000 times over, I wish older KJ could tell younger KJ and everyone around me, bet on yourself. All in, all the money, even if you're up against the house in Vegas, bet on yourself because you're going to win. You're never going to let yourself lose. You just aren't.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I love that.
Yeah, anyway.
That's really good. Really good. Well, thank you so much for hanging out with us this Monday morning.
Yes,
Um,
thank you.
and remind me where you are again. Are you still in North Dakota?
Oh, no, it's too cold. I'm in Dallas, Texas. It's
Okay,
sunny and
good for
lovely
you.
here.
Good for
Only
you.
4 hours. That's nice. Usually people are closer to Angelique.
I actually lived in South Dakota um, in junior high. Loved it.
Mhm.
Of course, I was young then. Now I
Right.
do not. We visited family in southern Missouri. Okay,
Yeah.
for Thanksgiving, and remembered how much I don't miss it.
Yeah.
That
No,
cold.
I know when it gets in your bones, and now I'm older, like the chill, it does not go away. But also, like snow, great, beautiful in pictures outside of a window on a ski slope in Vail. And, me showing my driveway, hard pass, hard pass.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, that's
And the
awesome.
little bit of cold, like, because Dallas gives us the summer weather. I'm in Oklahoma. And
Yeah.
then we get some of the cold, from Colorado and Kansas and Missouri and stuff. So I giggle because I'm like, it is cold and humidity freezes, which is totally different for someone coming in from
Mhm.
Colorado directly. But it's so much less here that I'm like, I really can't do this. They've already had several storms in Colorado. The year that we
Right.
left, it snowed in June.
Yeah.
Like, I was done, that year. So
Wow.
it
Well,
takes
it's
a
the
little
difference. It's the difference of, so if I go home for Christmas, it could be 80 degrees in Dallas, it could be 30 degrees in Dallas. But I'm going home to North Dakota where it's like -50 with wind chill. And they're not even, they just stop counting after a while what the negative number is. They're just like, if you go outside for more than 2 minutes, you're going to die of frostbite. Yay, have a great, Merry Christmas. And you're like, wow, weather guy, like you're telling it like it is. When they're just counting the frostbite in minutes and they're like at 2 minutes, that's not for me. It's just
Yeah,
not.
Yeah.
yeah,
Right. It's like I don't move that fast. Not on ice and snow either. Like
Like,
no,
sorry,
thank
dogs
you.
aren't going outside today.
Yeah, yeah. Well, so one of the things that we like to do on the podcast is have a current guest introduce next week's guest, and KJ has offered so graciously to do that for us. And next week's guest is Tammy. I hope I don't mess this up. Stacklehouse.
Yes. Okay. So you have a great show coming out this week with Tammy Stacklehouse. She is an award-winning author, founder of the International Fibromyalgia Coaching Institute, and executive producer of the documentary Invisible. Once disabled by fibromyalgia, she created her fibromyalgia wellness framework to manage her symptoms and ultimately reach remission. For nearly 2 decades, Tammy has used this framework to help hundreds of thousands of patients regain control of their health through coaching, her fibromyalgia podcast, award-winning books, and her science-based fibromyalgia wellness style quiz. Graduates of her certified fibromyalgia coach and certified fibromyalgia advisor programs now use her framework to help people around the world.
And that's also fibromyalgia is a very people don't talk about it. You
Right.
don't you just don't hear it talked about. And it my it's I don't know what's going on with our internet. Sorry guys, but our it just took so much just to figure out what it was.
Right.
So it sounds like, well, how many people really, is there really a market for this? You betcha.
Of course, because I think we all think we might have symptoms of it. Some people truly suffer from it, right? And then it's a medical thing. So of course you have all male doctors gaslighting you like, oh, are you sure? Like maybe it's just gas. Like, no, Dr. Gary, it's not. I'm suffering. But it's really a very good episode.
Yes, looking forward to it. So again, thank you so much, KJ, for being with us today. Everybody go out and check hearsaypr.com. Again, check out her visibility workbook. And there was another one, Headline Your Life. Tell us a little bit
Headline Your Life is going to help you figure out what your story is and how you promote it to the masses. And those freebies are at hearsaypr.com/freebie.
Awesome. We'll drop all the links for all the things, all her socials, her website, the freebies, the upcoming book. Keep an eye on our social for that. We'll help promote that for her. And hopefully we'll get to see you again.
I hope so. Thank you so much for having me.
All right. All right, guys, we will see you next week with Tammy Stackelhouse. We're here live every Monday.